So good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Holland FinTech event. So for today, we will be focusing on digging deeper into the world of subsidies. And to do so, we have a special guest today from Subsidycloud. I'll get to his introduction a little bit later. You can already see him ready to present. But maybe just to go quickly to the next slide, I'll give you a brief introduction about myself. I am Gabriele Pippo. I'm an account manager within Holland FinTech, and I'll be your host for today's session. If we can go to the next slide, you can get an overview of how the platform looks. On the right-hand side of the screen, you will have the chance to write your questions in the chat box. So I urge you to do so, because we will have a Q&A session at the end to answer any of your questions you might have. Right. Well, after this brief introduction, I think it is time to go to the next slide and start leaving the word to Ziegel. Ziegel is a senior partner manager at Subsidycloud, and he is here to tell you more about both the subsidy clouds and what they do, as well as giving you some insights into the subsidy space. So Ziegel, whenever you're ready, share your screen and take it away.
I'm ready. Thank you very much. Let me see if I can check this button. I think you have to stop sharing, Gabi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And I will put up my presentation. There we go. Is it visible?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Gabi, good morning, everyone. My name is Ziegel Ziegelaar, and I know, yes, that's a strange name. And I'll explain to you in private how it comes like that. But I will talk you through a presentation of Subsidycloud. Thank you for the invitation. I think it's very necessary to get out the message about subsidies in general, specifically for this type of environments. And I'll show you what we do, and I'll give you an example of how subsidies can work for you. Well, this is my agenda. I will start with some information about the complexity of the environment in which subsidies are arranged in the Netherlands, because everybody is capable of applying for a subsidy in general. On the other hand, it's really, really complex, and I'll show you that. Our main goal is to, we are very ambitious. We want to do the subsidies in the whole of Europe, and we have started now in Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands. We're growing very, very fast, but we think that we should be kind of a marketplace to find the right subsidies for the companies that can apply for them. How do we work? We want to make it easier for our customers to find the right information and to be able to apply for the subsidies. What we need is an agreement, and the reason for that is that it is a legal issue to apply for a subsidy. And if we are representing you as a company, we need to have a signature so we can do that. Of course, we need information about the organization that is applying for the subsidy. So therefore, we will have interviews. Then the application is put in some kind of government. It can be the province, it can be a city, it can be funds, it can be everything. And after that, you will get the money, and we will take a share. It's actually a pretty simple process. What's important is that there are subsidies for every stage of a company that you can imagine, from the startup until market entrance, and even during a grown-up phase of a company, there are subsidies, and there are many, many subsidies. And I think in the next slide that will show you. There are about 1,400 subsidies in the Netherlands alone at this moment. It can be 1,500 tomorrow or 1,300. There are very, very, very many subsidies. I used to be a consultant myself. I was a specialist in about 3 subsidies, so I didn't know 1,397 of them. And therefore, we have a big cloud of consultants that is applying the subsidies for us. Subsidycloud itself is based in Rotterdam. We're about 20 people, big, small. We do the back office, we do the marketing, we do the sales, we do everything that's done inside. And these consultants are between 100, 200, maybe 400 now that are applying. They are independent from us, but they work for us, and we do that on purpose because we need all the knowledge to be able to apply for these 1,400 subsidies that are there. To be honest, I think we do around 300 different subsidies a year. So the other 1,100 are not of any use at this moment for us. But if it occurs that a company will apply for one of these 1,100, we will find the right information to do so. The amount of money involved is big. As you can see, it's about 500 billion euros in Europe at this moment, but it grows and it shrinks every year, every week actually. In the Netherlands alone, it says 10 billion. I think it's more now. For instance, for innovation, WBSO, it used to be 4 billion itself. It's only one subsidy. These are three subsidies that I would like to talk a little bit about today, especially the WBSO, because that's a clear reason that you should pay attention to the possibilities of subsidies in the Netherlands. It's meant for innovation, and mainly startups are very active in the innovational business in general. And innovation for the government in the Netherlands is every kind of innovation within the company. So if you are developing a wheel, for instance, it's innovation as long as the wheel does not exist within your company. You should talk about it with a consultant and they can explain it even better. MIT is also innovation related, and it's mainly based on collaboration between companies. As long as innovation is involved and you're working together with another company, you can apply for MIT. And the EIA, MIA, and ESF are mainly focused on everything that's about sustainability and durability. It's one of the sectors in the Netherlands that is being focused on. And I show you here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subsidies, and there are 1,400 of them. So never even doubt if there's a subsidy for you. There will be, only you have to find out which one is it. And we can help you with that. We have about 1,200 customers at this moment, and these are 4 success stories. And for instance, the Waste Shark, I like it very much as an example, because they got a lot of money, and they got 58 subsidies applied, and they got it from the government, 9 different ones. What do? They make a system that's cleaning the water. And as you might know, the Netherlands, we are actually a delta, so there's a lot of water, and it's being polluted. And they found a way to autonomously send out boats that are collecting the waste. And it sounds really simple, actually, but to develop this type of little boat or shark, give it a name, they needed some subsidies to get it done, and also to put it into the market. And they got it, of course, otherwise I wouldn't be presenting it now. But this is just an example of an idealistic development that got paid for by our government, because there is a benefit for the country in itself. I think this is about what I have to talk to you. It's a small introduction, and I'd like to stress that if there is a possibility to look for subsidies, we have to dive deeper into your specialistic environment, your core business, and then we can find the right subsidies for you. You can also go to our website, which is subsidycloud.com. And you can find a scan over there, and you can fill it out yourself. It's about 10 minutes work. And then you get an impression of what subsidies are available for you, depending on, well, I'm not sure exactly, but about 50, maybe 100 parameters. And it gives you an impression if you get if you can get any subsidy, if you can apply for it. and we can help you with that. You also get an impression of the amount of money with that. So having said that, I'm ready for your questions.
Thanks for the presentation, Sigil. I think it was quite short and sweet, quite insightful. So that's how we like them. So let's see if there are any questions from the audience. Also for my colleague, if they can take back the screen. Let me see if there's any questions. Otherwise, I have a few questions. I have a few questions for you. First of all, I saw on your slide that 80% of the companies in the Netherlands basically are eligible for a subsidy, but you also mentioned that many are not aware that they are not eligible, and I'm wondering why is that the case? Do you think there's a lack of communication from the government, or what's up with that?
That's a very good question, and I think I'm kind of a missionary in this world, because I want just to get out the message that there are a lot of subsidies available, and so is our government, but they're failing. And the image of subsidies used to be that it's almost no possibility to get it. It will take you a lot of administration, hustle. So nobody applied for it anymore. And our government has changed that. So they make it much more easier than it used to be. But the image is still there. And I think that we can help our organizations, our clients, and everything related to the clients to inform them about the subsidies and help them to apply for it. It's a turnkey environment. So if we help you, it's a no cure, no pay basis. Mm-hmm. And we help the organizations to get the subsidies without any hassle. The only thing we need is the information about the company itself to be able to do that. So it's a turnkey project, so to speak. And in these 80% available in the market, there must be a possibility to find 20% of them. But it's crazy. There's not free money, because that's not the case, but there's money available to develop, and it's not being used. Yeah.
Okay. And based on your experience, what are the success rates of the applications for the subsidies?
Also, good question. Of course, we are one of the highest ratings in the Netherlands. We are well over 80%. Okay. That's different, for example, for the European subsidies. These are subsidies for large amounts of money, about 10 million. That's normal. But the success rate there is 5 to 10%. And that's not because we're failing in our application, but because of the regulation of the European government. That's the exception to the rule. We do no cure, no pay in general. But for these kinds of investments, we need to share the risk. So therefore, we ask for a part of the investment to do so, because it takes 6 to 8 weeks to apply for it. So those ratings are a little lower, but in general, we're well over 80%. Yeah. Okay.
And what's just to follow up, maybe what's the within the Netherlands? Perhaps let's focus on the subsidies within the Netherlands. What would be the average size of these subsidies?
Yeah, that's a question I cannot answer, because it really differs from a few thousand euros for educational purposes. For instance, if you have an intern, you can apply for a subsidy. It's about 2,700 euros. Okay. But if you have 20 developers working on artificial intelligence, you get 30% of the development costs. So it's a very wide range, and it's really up to the consultant to find out the maximum that you can apply for.
Okay, that makes sense, of course. Yeah, maybe just because I see there's no questions yet. Maybe just a couple more questions from my side. You mentioned that the number of subsidies can fluctuate from week to week, and I'm wondering what are the key factors that kind of determine the availability of the subsidies?
Politics. So we have our government, we have the provinces, we have the cities, we have all kinds of funds. It's moving all the time, although about half of the subsidies are very stable. So I think 400 subsidies will not change in the coming few years. Maybe the budget will change, but it's percentages. So it's about 5% or 10% maybe. In general, the most subsidies are stable. But because there are so many, it's changing all the time. And we are focusing on that. We have a department that's doing nothing else than investigate the possibilities of subsidies in the Netherlands or in Europe and Belgium and Germany. But like I said, it's complex. And it's really a niche in which we are working. And I think that we are more interested in partnering with our clients than that we are supplier of subsidies. What we do is we share our knowledge with our customers so that they can apply for these subsidies. And in working together, everyone benefits of it. So if a subsidy lands at the customer, we have a commission fee. So there is no classical client-supporter relationship. It's more teaming up to get the right subsidies.
Okay. And you also mentioned during the presentation that basically the subsidies are usually awarded when it comes to something that could benefit the society at large or within the public space.
Yeah.
And you mentioned also there's a few categories in which these subsidies could be. So it could be within education, it could be within sustainability. And I'm wondering if there is one of these goals or sectors, let's call them, that has a major concentration of these subsidies.
Oh, okay, good question. I don't know exactly the details of that, but there have been defined 9 sectors in the Netherlands in which subsidies are focused on by the government. Agriculture, innovation, durable systems, materials, and 4 or 5 others. I don't know exactly by heart. And I don't know how the subsidies are dispersed over that. But you can look very quickly on the web about these 9 top sectors. But even easier is go to our website and do the scan. It's 10-minute work, and we don't do the rest for you. It's really easy to do so. Leave us an email address, and we will contact you, and we will look into it in any deeper. And most important, if you're not applicable for any subsidies, you know it immediately. But in 99% of the cases, like I said, 80% of the company is not using the subsidies that they can apply for. It's weird.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Maybe just a question related to Subsidycloud. Could you share a few words on where you see Subsidycloud in the next few years?
Yeah. Well, we're growing like bloemkool. That's Dutch. Like cabbage. And the reason for that is our platform. We're the first company in the Netherlands that is using this matching system between clients and consultants. Because this scan that you do on our website is also immediately looking for a consultant that is specialized in your area and that is available. Normally that was done by hand, so you have to find a consultant by calling 20 of them to look if they're available, if they have the right knowledge, and we automated that. And because of this quickness, we can serve our customers really, really quickly, and all these consultants are working together as well. So if there is a subsidy that a consultant is not really experienced in, he can ask a colleague to help him with that. And this process proved to be really, really efficient, and therefore we are really, really growing. And we're looking for consultants all the time. Like we're also looking for clients, of course, and it's a balance to do that. And we are really working on finding consultants because we're growing this fast.
Okay.
And like we said, we have the ambition to do the whole of Europe. If we grow like this, I think we can do that within the next 5 to 10 years, and that is really ambitious. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're growing. We're located in Rotterdam. But that's a physical office, and during these times that's not so important. We're working all over the country and internationally as well, and I think that could be very promising for the rest of this decade to expand on this. There's no limit actually to us.
Okay, and maybe just one last question from my side is from the client's perspective. What's the usual profile from your clients? Like, do you usually work with smaller entities, or do you also help like more established companies getting subsidies?
Yeah, good question again. Companies that have over 1,000 FTE, for instance, have their own consultants that apply for subsidies. So that's out of our market mainly. And everything between 1 and 1,000 FTE are clients for us, potentially.
Okay.
And we have a lot of startups and scale-ups, of course, because they are mainly in the innovative business. They're developing things that do not exist yet. Mm-hmm. But it's also very interesting with the EAI I talked about. The cooperation between companies can really be interesting for subsidies as well. Education, everything. So actually we have everything from foundations to commercial companies, from aerospace, everything. And if it's 10,000 people, that's also fine. I cannot share exactly which bank, but we also have a bank as a client.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that is a great answer. And yeah, maybe just as a conclusive thought, because I see there's still no questions from the audience, I'm wondering if there is anything else you'd like to add to close it off as a conclusive statement.
Yeah, please go to the website, do the scan, because that's the most informative thing that I can share with you. It will inform you about your business. It will inform you about the possibilities. Maybe, Gabi, you can share this presentation with the attendees.
Absolutely.
Then you have my contact details as well. It's all no cure, no pay, so don't worry about any fees or whatever. If there's a fee involved, we will tell you upfront. Please do the scan. It can be really, really interesting. Especially for startups, to use this money that's available for you. So use it and inform yourself. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll make sure you get the right consultant or other ways to get you the right information. And really happy to serve you in this, because it's beneficial for all of us. It's as simple as that. Do the scan, please.
All right. I think that's one piece of recommendation that participants should take quite seriously. So thanks a lot. So I'd like to renew again my thank you to you for the great presentation, for the insights. I think it was quite a short session, but very insightful. So we'll make sure that to share the slides with the participants as well as to the greater ecosystem, and you'll be able to find the recording online. So thanks a lot, Sigel.
Thank you for the invitation, and it's short because I don't want to waste the time of your entrepreneurs. So thank you again, and looking forward to work together. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again, Sigel. So maybe just a few more words from Holland FinTech's perspective. If we can go to the next slide, we have some upcoming events in the next few weeks. So first of all, the two recurring events we have: the Flash Friday every Friday from 9:30 to 10, where our CEO and founder Don will give you an overview. We'll be discussing with a representative from our member base the most important developments of the fintech space. Whereas next week on May 14th, we have the Holland FinTech online meetup, which will be a special edition in partnership with Startup Bootcamp. So quite a lot of interesting startups will be pitching their new solution. And lastly, of course, but not least, on the 20th of May, we'll have a panel discussion with Intellia's FinTech OS and Yole Technology Services around the topic of banking, of privacy versus personalization, and what is too personalized. With that note, I'd like to go to the next slide, which is a conclusive slide around the Amsterdam FinTech Week that is happening from the 4th to the 11th of June. This is our flagship event. So I'd invite you all to go on our website and find out how you can get involved in the week. And that marks the end of today's event. I'd like to again extend my thank you to Subsidycloud and Ziegel for their insights and participation. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or to Ziegel, and we'll keep in touch. Have a nice day.